have a drink, have a baby, have a good time, have a bad time, have bath, have shower. Okay?
सर, आपका बर्थडे कब आता है?
तुम्हाला आवाज येतोय क्लिअरली ऐकायला व्हिडिओचा?
आपका बर्थडे कब आता है? When does your
व्हिडिओ तुम्हाला ऐकायला येतोय आवाज व्हिडिओचा की नाही?
birthday fall?
सर, आपका बर्थडे कब आता है?
आपका बर्थडे कब आता है? When does your birthday fall? मेरा बर्थडे 10th अक्टूबर को आता है. My birthday falls on 10th October.
वाह, मतलब आज आपका बर्थडे है। हैप्पी बर्थडे सर।
Thank you very much.
कॅन यू हिअर इट क्लिअरली व्हिडिओ? आवाज येतोय का व्हिडिओचा तुम्हाला? ओके, ठीक आहे. थँक्यू.
सर, क्या मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछ सकती हूँ?
Go ahead.
सर, आज आप कितने साल के हुए?
आप आज कितने साल के हुए? How old did you turn today? मैं आज 40 साल का हुआ. I turned 40. रडू नको, नाहीतर बोवा येईल आणि तुला घेऊन जाईल. डोंट क्राय or the bogeyman will come and take you away. तुझा भूतावर विश्वास आहे का? रडू नको, नाहीतर बोवा येईल आणि तुला घेऊन जाईल. डोंट क्राय or the bogeyman will come and take you away. तुझा भूतावर विश्वास आहे का? डू यू बिलीव्ह इन घोस्ट? माझा भूतावर विश्वास नाहीये. आय डोंट बिलीव्ह इन घोस्ट.
मुझे परेशान मत करो।
मुझे परेशान मत करो. इसे इंग्लिश में बोलेंगे डोंट बॉदर मी.
सर, मुझे देरी हो रही है।
मुझे देरी हो रही है. इसे इंग्लिश में बोलेंगे आई एम गेटिंग लेट.
हाऊ टू एंड अ स्पीच विथ इम्पॅक्ट.
This is 100 times better than ending with, thank you.
तुम्हाला माझा आवाज येतोय का ऐकायला? ओके. जनरली आपल्याला काय सवय असते, कोणत्या पण आपण स्पीचची, प्रेझेंटेशनची एका वेळेस आपण टॉक असतो एखादा, त्यावेळेला आपण एंडला आपण माहिती काय म्हणतो? थँक यू. आणि आपण आपलं स्पीच संपवतो, आपलं भाषण संपवतो. किंवा थँक यू फॉर लिस्निंग टू मी, थँक यू फॉर बिंग अटेंटिव्ह, किंवा थँक यू फॉर स्टेइंग ट्यून विथ मी, असं म्हणतो आपण. आणि निघून जातो भाषण स्टेजवरून. परंतु माहिती एंडला ना असं नाही बोलायचं शक्यतो. थँक वगैरे नाही बोलायचं. मग एंडला काय बोलायचं? एंडला असं काहीतरी बोलायचं ज्याच्यामुळे ना समोरच्या ऐकणाऱ्यांच्या श्रोत्यांच्या मनामध्ये ना विचारांची घालमेल सुरू होईल. ते विचार काय राखेल तुमच्या स्पीच नंतर, की असं कसं काय बोलला, हा काय बोलला बरं, असं कसं काय बोलला, त्याचा पॉइंट तर बरोबर आहे. मग काय करायचं एंडला, स्पीच संपलं ना, एखादा प्रश्न टाकायचा त्यांना आणि प्रश्नावर त्यांना विचार करायला लावायचा. ठीक आहे? ते याच्यामध्ये सांगितलेलं आहे त्यांनी. आपण बघूया आता, ठीक आहे?
When it comes to the end of a speech, most speakers, including the super impressive TED Talkers, close their speech with thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me today, or some variation on the theme. Don't get me wrong, saying thank you is so important. Showing your audience gratitude is a really great thing. What I'm saying is don't close the speech, the talk with thank you. It's a pretty dull and boring way of ending. Today, we're going to discuss a new way of closing your speech that's not just thank you. And what I'm about to share with you today is not only relevant for closing a speech, but also for a talk or ending a meeting. You could even do this at the end of a conversation. This strategy is forever going to change the way you close your talk. It's going to leave your talk in the audience's mind for hours, days, weeks, maybe even years to come. So wouldn't you want to try out this approach? Your message will have higher impact, longevity, and the best part is it may even initiate a call to action. How amazing does that sound? Are you ready for this game changer? Let's get right into it. I have 3 magic words for you. Food for thought. Now, you may have heard this term before, but we're talking about it in the context of closing a talk, closing a meeting, ending a speech. Let me explain. Food for thought is posing a question at the end of your talk, but not just any old question. It is by design an open-ended question. Now, you may be wondering, well, why does the food for thought work? How can that be a great way of closing? Here's why. This open-ended question will be so alluring, so enchanting, so inviting that they're going to think about it. It'll just pop up throughout their day. They might be getting on the subway, on their way to work, making dinner, playing tennis. The thought of your speech and the message that resonated with them will just surface if you use a food for thought. So in other words, it keeps your talk alive. It'll stay in the back of their minds, and they might even want to act upon it. They might want to do something about the message you shared, the information you gave, the reason you were able to persuade them, the reason you want to avoid a closed-ended question starting with do you, did you, have you, is because the audience will answer that right on the spot. Yes, no. And poof, your talk, you will disappear in their minds. There's no need to linger upon that message. So here are the 3 steps that'll help you generate a food for thought for the end of your talk. Step 1, formulate a question using to what extent, why, how, in what ways. Notice how we're avoiding closed-ended questions. Step 2, allow the food for thought to organically emerge from your talk. In other words, you don't want to force it, but let it appear as the relevant thing to ask. So it has to be related to your talk. Logical
Kindly meet yourself. Soham.
Logical connections explorers, right? That makes sense. Step 3, address a burning question that the audience may have had throughout your talk. And to do step 3, you can ask yourself 2 things. What question would I have liked to answer for the audience, but don't have an answer to? What question can germinate from this speech, but has no solution as of yet? Let's look at some food for thought in action. Say we've just wrapped a talk about revamping the education system. Your food for thought could be, how would you provide the best real-world education that a child needs to excel in this world? For a talk on policy change, you may end with, what remains to be known is whether these policies will have negative impacts alongside the benefits they bring. If this topic interests any of you, I highly encourage that line of inquiry as we continue to address this important issue. For a talk about the future of our planet, you might have a food for thought that is, when will we reach a point where terraforming Mars will be our only chance at human survival? No one knows for sure, but based on our current trajectory, that day is fast approaching. What you do now will influence that deadline. So as you can see, these are so much more powerful than ending with thank you, right? Say your thank you, get your food for thought in there. The audience will be mesmerized and they're going to think about this question, they'll ruminate over it, and they might even find a solution to the question you pose. You can also think of it as a research question that you're putting out there for future inquiry, for future development, and for further research. So to sum up, food for thought is a powerful way of closing your talk. And it establishes not only your authority as a speaker, but also your credibility. And it will get the gears in the audience's brain working. And that's what we want. No one in the audience expects you to have the answers for everything, even if you're a subject matter expert. The way knowledge works is that everyone moves it a little bit forward. So you've moved it forward, now it's the audience's turn. Think of it like passing the torch to the next person. So that is the power behind the food for thought. Before we go, let's quickly recap. The problem that we're trying to solve is to end the talk with something other than thank you. Our solution to this problem is food for thought. It can spark passion, curiosity, and even generate a call to action. We've discussed 3 ways of generating a food for thought with these 3 steps. Phrasing it as an open-ended question, letting it organically emerge from the topic because it's relevant, asking a question to which there's no solution as of yet. So these are the 3 steps to help you figure out what your food for thought will be. The first step in coming up with an open-ended question should be relatively straightforward. Now, you may have a little bit more difficulty with steps 2 and 3 because you really have to think about what you're telling them, what message you're sharing, and where the gaps in knowledge are. But you can think of it along the lines of, I've done the research, I've contributed, now I'm passing the baton so that you can also do the research, contribute, and add to the fount of knowledge. My advice to you is to practice trying out the food for thought strategy by trying it on your friends, maybe in a casual conversation. See how people respond to it and what kind of curiosity and questions it generates. If you find that people are really interested in knowing more and thinking about it, and you can see the wheels in their head turning, then that is probably a good food for thought. So practice it, try it out in different scenarios, and then use it when you want to close your talk, end your speech, come to the end of a meeting. It's a really powerful way of closing that speech. With some practice in those settings, you will start to see the gradual benefits of doing a food for thought. All right, Explorers, that's a wrap on this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, give it a like. It means a lot to us. And if you
the words. And the first one of these is the word clothes. Now, I know that it's really difficult to say the sound th.
आता आपण 10 वर्ड असे बघूया की जे वर्ड्स प्रोनाउन्सिएशन करणं अवघड असतं. ठीक आहे, so that next time we will not make mistake while pronouncing those words. Okay, and after that we'll start the lecture.
And before we get started here, press the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you get notifications every time there's a new video. So today we're talking about 10 words that are really hard to pronounce, and they're hard to pronounce for different reasons. Some of them have lots of letters together and sounds together, and it can be really hard to say them. Other words are hard because English speakers don't pronounce some of the letters in the words. And some of them are different between British English and American English. So we're going to look at 10 difficult words, and we're going to explain why they're difficult, how you can remember how to pronounce them, and how to make sure that you say them correctly from now on. The first difficult word to pronounce is comfortable. Comfortable. Now, this word is hard to pronounce because it looks like there's 4 syllables in this word, but when we say it, there's only 3. So this word looks like comfortable, but that's not how you should say it. If you say it like that, people are going to give you a strange look. Instead, you should say comfortable. 3 syllables. Comfortable. Comfortable. It's almost like we take out that O and R in the middle of the word.
Those must be comfortable shoes.
One way that I like to remember the pronunciation of this word is by thinking that comfort is a must. There's no option. There's no or in comfort. So comfortable, I just take out the OR, the or. I take out the option. It's a must. The second word that's difficult to pronounce is difficult for the same reason as the first word. This word looks like it has 4 syllables, but when we say it, there's only 3. And this word is vegetable. That's right, it's vegetable, not vegetable. So here we take out the second E and we say vegetable with 3 syllables.
Vegetables?
Next is our third difficult word, and this word is restaurant. Again, here, this word looks like it's 3 syllables, but when we say it, it's only 2 syllables. It's not restaurant, it's restaurant. So we take out that extra A and U in the middle of the word, and we squeeze the word together to make it restaurant.
A restaurant?
So next time you ask someone out on a date, make sure you take them to a restaurant, not a restaurant. What is a restaurant? I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. It's better to say restaurant. Okay, the next 3 difficult words are difficult for 2 reasons. First of all, when people see them, well, it's difficult to pronounce them and to understand how we should pronounce them. But the second reason that these 3 words are difficult is because they're pronounced differently in American English and in British English. So people in different parts of the world might pronounce them differently. The first of these words is medicine. Now, you probably understand from my name, Chris Americos, that I'm American, or I'm from the United States. And this means that I pronounce this word medicine with 3 syllables.
Bad medicine.
But if you speak to one of my British friends, they're going to tell you that this word is medicine with 2 syllables. So in British English, typically people remove this extra I. So it depends on where you are and who you're speaking to. Some people say medicine, and some people say medicine.
Medicine?
The next difficult word is difficult for a similar reason. And in American English, we say literature with 4 syllables.
It's wrong to destroy literature.
But in British English, this is literature with only 3 syllables.
Literature.
So again, in British English here, we've removed another letter. We've removed the first E. So American English, literature. British English, literature. And the next word is also difficult for the same reason. In American English, this is military with 4 syllables.
Military.
But in British English, it only has 3, and it's military.
Military service.
So here we've removed the A from the word. Now, when I tell you that we've removed the letter from the word, that doesn't mean that we write it without those letters. No, we still write it with those letters, but we just don't say them. You're probably really happy that you're learning English. It doesn't matter what's written on the paper, you just say what you want, right? Ah, English. Okay, the next 2 words that are difficult to pronounce are difficult because they kind of sound like other words, or they're hard to pronounce because of the sounds in the words. And the first one of these is the word clothes. Now, I know that it's really difficult to say the sound and it's even more difficult to add a z sound after that. So all of you guys who are out there learning English right now, I hope that you understand that English, it's not the most beautiful language in the world. Because we say sounds like th, th, th. Just practice that a few times. Th, th, th. And then you can say this word correctly. Clothes. Clothes. Now, I think it would be pretty strange if you saw a bunch of people walking around at the shopping center saying, I want some new clothes. And that's why most English speakers don't even pronounce that word like that. They pronounce it very softly, or they pronounce it like a completely different word. Close. Like close the door. Close the door and put on your clothes. You probably couldn't tell if I said these two different words in a sentence. Clothes and clothes. Sure, you can see the difference in my mouth and my tongue, but can you really hear the difference? I probably couldn't.
Clothes.
The next word that's difficult to pronounce is the word work. You know, you have a job, you've got stuff to do, you have to work. Work. But for some reason, when a lot of English learners say this word, it sounds like walk. Like when you don't have a car and you need to use your feet to move around someplace. So let's practice these two words right now and understand how they're different. When we're on foot, we walk, walk, walk. And here you hear my American accent again with the ah, walk, walk. Notice that we do not pronounce the L in this word. We do not say walk. No, 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 no. We say walk. Now let's repeat the other word. Work, work, work. This has the same sound as other words like girl or first or bird. Our ninth word that's hard to pronounce is the word months. And this is difficult to pronounce because, again, we have this TH plus S combination at the end of the word. So practice saying that separate from the word first. Yeah, English is so weird. Months, months. However, when people are speaking very quickly, sometimes it doesn't sound like months. Sometimes it sounds like months, months. And we don't even say that extra sound at all.
Months.
Isn't that great? You can completely forget about it. Well, only in this word. And the last word that's difficult to pronounce is actually one of many, and it's one of many in a category called cardinal numbers. Like when we say first, second, third. So first, second, and third are not so difficult. But as we continue and as we add on more and more numbers, they become more difficult. And we have things like fourth, fifth, sixth. Yeah, it can be really difficult to say those things with those combinations at the end, right? So let's look at the word sixth. Here we have the sounds k, s, th at the end. So just practice that separate from the word. K, s, th, k, s, th, k, s, th. Now let's combine them. Ks, th, ks, th. And all together. Ks, th, ks, th, ks, th. And that's how you can learn how to say the word sixth.
Happy 6th birthday, Timmy.
I hope you enjoyed this video about 10 words that are really hard to pronounce in English, and I hope you learned something that'll help you pronounce them better, more clearly, and more correctly. Don't forget to press like, press subscribe, leave a comment down below, and hey, if you want, you can even make a video of yourself
Okay, I hope you enjoyed these videos, and these videos will definitely help you to improve your pronunciation of those 10 words, which are very difficult to pronounce. And many people, you must have come across many people who make this mistake. They say they pronounce vegetable. Actually, it should be vegetable, right? तसं अनेक वर्ड्स आहेत. तर तुम्हाला मी हा व्हिडिओ शेअर करेन दोन्ही पण. ओके. सो लेट्स मूव्ह ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट थिंग. दॅट इज चॅटिंगमध्ये या सगळ्यांनी लेक्चर संपलं सगळ्यांनी रिएंट्री करायची हां. हा कोणता टेन्स आहे हा? चॅटिंगमध्ये सांगा. येस चेतन. व्हेरी गुड. इट इज सिम्पल प्रेझेंट टेन्स. आता मी ह्याचा अर्थ काय होता मराठीमध्ये? मी खेळणी विकतो. आता मला बोलायचं आहे, मी खेळणी विकली. लिहा बरं इंग्लिशमध्ये हे वाक्य. व्हेरी गुड सोहम. परफेक्ट. आय सोल्ड टॉयज. आता लिहा, मी खेळणी विकीन. येस प्रेरणा, व्हेरी गुड. आय विल सेल टॉयज. मी खेळणी विकत आहे. व्हेरी गुड सोहम. आय एम सेलिंग टॉयज. सगळ्यात पहिले सोहमचा आन्सर. दॅट्स वाय ही विल गेट दिस पॉइंट. आय एम सेलिंग टॉयज. मी खेळणी विकत आहे. मी खेळणी विकत होतो. येस, कोणी लिहिले बरं पहिले? आय वॉज सोहम. मी खेळणी विकत होतो. आय वॉज सेलिंग टॉयज. मी खेळणी विकत असेन. येस सोहम. आय विल बी सेलिंग टॉयज. मी खेळणी विकलेली आहेत. प्रेरणा, व्हेरी गुड. आय हॅव सोल्ड टॉयज. आय हॅव सोल्ड टॉयज. मी खेळणी विकली होती. चेतन, आय हॅड सोल्ड टॉयज. आय हॅड सोल्ड टॉयज. खेळणी विकली होती. मी खेळणी विकली असतील. आय विल हॅव सोल्ड टॉयज. सिद्धी, व्हेरी गुड. आय विल हॅव सोल्ड टॉयज. मी खेळणी विकत आलेलो आहे. म्हणजे आधीपासून खेळणी विकत आहे. प्रेरणा, येस. आय हॅव बीन सेलिंग टॉयज. मी आधीपासून खेळणी विकत आलेलो होतो. प्रेरणा, येस. आय हॅड बीन सेलिंग टॉयज. मी आधीपासून खेळणी विकत आलेलो असेन फ्युचरमध्ये. आय विल हॅव बीन सेलिंग टॉयज. ओके. मी खेळणी विकायला हवीत. मी खेळणी विकायला पाहिजे. व्हेरी गुड प्रेरणा. परफेक्ट. येस सोहम. आय शुड सेल टॉयज. नाही, शुड लागणार बेटा. एखादं काम करायला पाहिजे ना. शुड. मी खेळणी विकायला हवी होती. Wow, very good, Prerna. I should have sold toys.